Yeah, today's topic is hybrid vehicles and sustainable mobility. Mobility is movement from one place to the other. Why is it called sustainable? Because currently we are using cars based out of petrol and diesel, and because of that, there is a lot of carbon emission. So, sustainable mode will always be a non-carbonized mode, which is also called decarbonization. That means the amount of carbon emissions which are being released into the atmosphere should reduce drastically, and still the vehicle should keep moving. If that has to be the case, then electric vehicles should come into picture. But again, for electricity, you will have to require fossil fuels and their things. Therefore, the concept of hybrid model. So, hybrid is fundamentally an engine which utilizes both electric as well as fuel, both of these technologies simultaneously. That means it uses fuel for some time and then it stops the fuel link, it shifts towards the electric link, and like that, the overall consumption of fossil fuels and the release of carbon emissions both will reduce by almost 15 to 20% from individual car. So such cars are called hybrid cars. Currently in the market, you have about 15 to 20 different models available in Indian market, which are of hybrid model. So why this is very important? Because for the concept of sustainable environment and greener future. So what are the major points that you have tried for your exam with respect to mains? First one, you must first embrace the quality of hybrid, and it is because it is more pragmatic and environmental friendly. First point. Concept of decarbonization. If it is decarbonized, you get a better greener future. If these things have to happen, then the concept should be on battery electric vehicles. That means BEVs. That is nothing but your hybrid vehicles, and there should be a balance of decarbonization drive. So please try to understand this logic. You must first embrace hybrid model. Why? For decarbonization. If it is decarbonized, that means you will have a better greener future, and your mobility is not impacted at all. You will still be able to move without any problem with the same pace, but with less carbon emissions. So therefore, that kind of mobility is called sustainable mobility. Keep this in points. So these 3 points are very important for your mains answer. Next, how do you promote this? You have to start advocating. That means market the concept of hybrid models heavily in the market. As I said, we have already about 15 to 20 hybrid models you're already running. And the beautiful point about here is you must be able to use hybrid and compressed natural gas cars rather than even fuel also. So we already have CNG modes. Now we will require to use both electric as well as CNG simultaneously. CNG already is a very less pollutant in comparison to the fossil fuels, and electric, you already know, no emissions at all. So a by combination of both electric as well as natural gas will be the future for the coming 15 to 20 years. So you have to look into the impact. Please remember, hybrids exhibit lower all carbon emissions wheel to wheel compared to electric and traditional petrol and other products. And this is the most highlight points. Hybrids are at least about 16% less pollutant. So 16% less. So imagine every car reduces 16%. Imagine the overall percentage which is going to happen if everyone in India starts using. So the overall reduction will be close to 15 to 16, 20% with respect to carbon emissions. And how do we do it? As I said, this one. And what is the future? Now India's rising power should also be attached to climate change and non-pollution and better greener environment for India. So shifts to 44% non-fuel power could bridge the gap between these two technologies. So global push for battery electric vehicles, this is the way forward, and for such kind of programs we should stop importing these electric as well as other hybrid vehicles. Rather we should start manufacturing them in India. For such kind of program you require a huge subsidy, therefore government should do that. And next, the basic problem for hybrid models and electric models is charging network. That means the number of charging points which are available in petrol pumps or exclusive charging bunks is very less in comparison to the number of vehicles which are moving in the market. Therefore, there should be a huge charging network, not just for small vehicles and cars, but also for other vehicles which are going to come in the future. Next, the problem is with the electricity source. Even for the charging network to happen, you again require electricity. That means again you will require fossil fuels. That means still the carbon emissions are still intact. Therefore, you must look for a viable electric source, which is very important. And finally, you have to increase the value chain diversification should be done, where different diversified products using both electric as well as CNGs should be the need of the hour. Now, it is not just a choice, but it is a collective endeavor. So it is not just like a business model, but everyone should be pro-favorable, and the customers who are buying the cars should prefer a hybrid model over the regular petrol or diesel models. If this can be done, I think your answer for this concept is more than sufficient.